started by sculpting a cute dog. First thing I'll do is knead or soften the clay so I can form the dog's body and his head. You see, kneading is important because the more you work the clay, the easier it is to shape it. Hey, Mike, while you were kneading that clay, an inspirational thought came to me. Let's hear it, BT. Isaiah 64, verse 8 says, "Yet, O Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay. You are the potter. We are all the work of your hand." That's right, BT. God molded us in His image, and He wants us to be His children. Right on, Mike. All right, it's time to continue. Now his body looks like a pear shape. So what I'll do is I'll work the clay, I'll keep molding it until I can make it look like that shape. So I'll just keep forming it and shaping it until it looks like that pear shape you saw. It's kind of a curved pear shape, bigger at one end and smaller at the other. It's getting closer. It's almost to the shape I want, almost. Using my fingers, I'll just continue, just like so. There, I think it's done. See how it stays up on its own when I set it on the surface? The head looks just like the body shape, only smaller. Notice the way the body curves inward? The shape of his head also curves inward. I like to start out with a round shape like this. Then I use my fingers to shape it the way I want. And forming it. Softening the clay. Keep working it and working it. And smoothing it out until it looks like this shape. Now I'll make the two front legs or paws just like this one. And using a small portion of clay, I'll roll it out into a cylinder, just like so. And with my sculpting tool, I'll cut two small pieces, just like this. And each half will be one of his legs. So I'll just keep forming it. Then I'll just bend it on the end, like so. Kind of looks like an L shape. Then I'll shape it near the end. I'll round it off so it almost looks like a foot. And just keep shaping it. There. All right. Now I'll shape the other leg. I'll bend it right here. Then round it, and smooth it out and shape it and form it to be rounded like the other one. Did you know that the heat from your hands also helps keep the clay soft? Now I have two front legs. Now for the hind legs. I'll cut a bigger piece of clay because the hind legs are bigger than the front. Using my sculpting tool, I'll cut this piece in half. There, now I have the two pieces cut. I'm ready to form the clay into the shape that I want. I'll start with this shape, then press it in right here. I'm making the shape that you see on your screen. I keep pressing, shaping the clay, squeezing and forming it again. I use my hands to roughly make the shape, and then I'll smooth it out, round it off. This tool works great to press the clay inward as I'm trying to shape it. So I'll keep working it with my fingers and shaping it and forming it until it looks like this shape. Now I'll do the same for the other one. Just as I did with the other hind leg, I'm shaping it with my fingers, working it, working the clay, and soon it will look like his other hind leg when I'm done. It's starting to look like the other hind leg. I'll continue onward like so. And again, I'm going to use this tool to indent the clay right here. There, that finishes the hind legs. Let's continue onward to the next step. This tool works great to make the toes for the dog's paws. And I'll do the same on the other one. Just like so. One here and another one here. You know, if you don't have tools like this, a plastic butter knife would work too. Now I'll notch the front paws. Just like so. And do the same here. Very cool! Now I'll gently press the front legs to the body shape. Make sure the body shape is upward, the small end on the top and the big round end on the bottom. By the way, the surface that I'm sculpting on is a ceramic tile that I picked up at my hardware store. Here you can see the bigger part of his body here and the smaller part there. I'll attach the hind legs to the sides of the bottom part. And I'll position his hind legs like this. And press them right on. And blend them right in like that. Good. Just press it on his body. Don't worry, it'll stick to it. We don't need toothpicks here because the dog legs are close to the body and it'll be strong enough. This is how it looks with the front and hind legs attached. Before we attach the head, we need to put a toothpick right here. I'll break this toothpick in half and place it right here on the top part of the body. Now before I place his head onto the toothpick, I want to make a yellow collar. Now is a good time to wipe my hands clean and also wipe the surface clean. I do this every time I change from one color to another. Now I'll form his collar using a small piece of yellow clay. I'll round it, then I'll flatten it like this. There. Now I'm ready to place it over the toothpick just like this. Notice the toothpick is still sticking up through the collar. That's where the head will go. It's time to place his head on the toothpick just like this. The smaller end is the top of his head. Oh no, he can't smell his dinner. That's right, he needs a nose. I'll clean the surface again. There, now I'll break off a small piece of black clay for his nose. I'll round it over into a small ball and press it right on the end of his head just like this. There, now I'll just smooth out his nose like so. Just kind of round it using my fingers and then smooth it out. Don't worry, you'll be smelling your dinner in no time. Like I demonstrated earlier, this tool works great for making nostrils. I'll put one hole right here and the other one here. Now you can smell your dinner, my little canine friend. I don't know why I'm talking to him. He can't hear me. He doesn't have his ears. Don't worry, I'll make them right now. Now I'm rolling out a small piece of clay for his ears. Now I'll cut it into 2 pieces. I want to make them just like this. Notice how both ears curve like this. I'll flatten them just like so. I'll round one of the edges on each one. I'm going to make the ends of each ear pointed. Kind of a rounded point. Don't worry, you'll see why. Good. Now that that's done, I'll put a small slot on both sides of the dog's head using this tool. One slot here. And the other slot on the other side, right here. And now I'll press the ears into the 2 slots that I made on the side of his head. And I'm going to slightly lift the ear, curve it a little bit, and press it to the side of the dog's head. And I'll do the same on the other ear. And then I'll lift it, and I'll curve it like that. It just makes it look a little more animated. Oops, he wants to wiggle his tail, but he doesn't have one. Okay, now I'll make his tail. Break off a small piece like this, and then I'll roll it into a cylinder shape. Then I'll roll it again on one end like so, till you bring it to a point. Now I'll turn it over and flatten this end like this. So I'll put a little curve into the tail like so. Now I'll take the other half of the toothpick I broke earlier, and I'll put it right here. Now the tail will go on to the toothpick. Now my little friend can smell, he can hear, he can wiggle his tail. The next step is to wash and clean your hands and also wipe the surface clean. Now I'll cut this piece in half with my sculpting tool. Alright, these small pieces will work perfect for his eyes. I'm rolling them into small balls just like this. Now that they're flat, all I have to do is put them on the dog's face. Good, they look cool. Now I'm going to roll 2 tiny pieces of black clay for his pupils. They're so tiny, they stick to the ends of my fingers. Well, that's good. And I'll put them on the dog's eyes just like this. I think eyebrows would look cute. So I'll roll out 2 small strands of black clay, just roll them with my fingers, and carefully place them above his eyes. And I'll use my sculpting tool to help me position them on the top of the eyes just like so. What? You need a tongue? All right, let's get started. I'll use a small piece of pink clay, just like this. Now, using my plastic sculpting tool, I'll put a slot right below his nose for his mouth. Now I'll gently place the end of the tongue into the slot I made. Round off the end. Okay, I think this tongue looks cute. And there you have it, a finished cute little dog. Now it's time to put him in a pie pan and bring him to the oven to bake. Now make sure younger children have adult supervision when doing this step of our project. Now the first thing to do is preheat my oven to 275. Now using a pot holder, I'll put our project in the oven and bake the clay for 15 minutes. Time's up. Turn the oven off and remove the clay dog from the oven. Be careful, it's hot. Again, I'm using a pot holder to remove my project, and I'll put it on top of the stove. It's a perfect place to let it cool off. Do not put it on plastic or wood. My little dog has hardened and it's cool to the touch. It's time for an inspirational art tip. I bought this flat round piece of wood at my local craft store. I then painted it brown. And after it dried, I applied glue to the bottom of the dog's feet. I then placed the dog on the wooden base and let the glue dry. Cool! He now has his own base, and he's ready to be displayed. All right, our project is cooled. Now all I have to do is display my canine friend, or maybe give it to somebody as a gift. Well, that's all the time I have. I really enjoyed inspiring all of you today. I hope you'll join me again soon. Until next time, may God bless you and inspire you all.